Attention gamers. League of Legends is a game full of people making mistakes.
This is worth it, guys. Trust.
Mistakes that may or may not lead to a game being lost.
If I didn't throw there, could we have defended this? Maybe we could have D'd it if I didn't.
That said, League is all about backseating Betties, pointing out the mistakes of others and shifting the blame away from themselves. As an example, let's look at this Vayne who decided she was going to go full-blown Nemo touch the butt way out into Area 52 restricted airspace by herself as an underfed ADC, only to get collapsed on worse than the bottom block of a Jenga tower. And do you know what she took away from that mistake? That there's no f***ing jungle presence, and that's apparently why she put a blindfold on and whipped her tits out at a Diddy party. But today we are going to see how yours truly, 10-year challenger, rank 1 master of masters, golf legend, chef, sex expert Rav Daddy himself responds when he starts a game on the bad side and has to show these naysayers why they were wrong to flame him. So if you are stoked to see some moronic League players be put in their damn place, please alt on my subscribe button unless you are a Bard main, and let's get into it. Alright, let's set the scene for a moment. I was down here in the bot lane with an order of shrimp tempura as my support against counting Dracula and this annoying bitch that is only played by elo inflated incels. If you've never laned against this comp early, it's about as pleasant as a sandpaper dildo, because this walking vine doesn't even have to hit you with an ability, because the jabbing tulips she grows will do the trick, and then you are too slow to dodge the long purple line that comes out of this number mumbling ass hat. I try my best to be a good wingman when my support falls victim to the weed into root combo, and early on I could back out, but I think what would peekaboo do, and then I masturbate a bit, knowing if I keep them in lane I will have this goat with her sperm cloud down here to play cleanup crew. But it just goes to show you can grease a monkey up but you can't make it sing show tunes to you. Anyways, I don't want to say that an early support diff can decide the outcome of a lane, but I will say that this was my support. And this was their support. For reference, this was my support again. That said, I don't want to point fingers yet, as I was playing just as much like a shit muffin good for nothing, should have been aborted or deported years ago instead of holding this position at the Piltover Sheriff's Department, Caitlin, and all I was doing at this point was wasting time. My fear was that my teammates would die in their own jungle and then blame me for not rotating, and then flame in chat, and then start dying on purpose, and then refuse to forfeit, and then mass report me till I got chat restricted, and then write a hate thread about me on Reddit that somehow would get sent to my parents, and then my mom would text me saying I shouldn't say the phrase goddamn in my videos because it's disrespectful, all because I didn't help them with this fight. But every time I went up nothing would happen, and every time I came back down they would start to engage again. But as an ADC at this point in the game, my main responsibility should be to get myself gold, and if you disagree with that you should literally lick and asshole, because that's all you are good for with that Hasanabi quality opinion. But long story short, this accomplished absolutely nothing. I didn't die, but I wasted just a disgusting amount of time quote unquote being a team player without doing anything productive, which, not to draw parallels to my 9 to 5 in corporate America, but let's just say I'm used to that. But then I remembered on the Rift I don't have a boss, so that next time there was a circle jerk in my jungle I decided that, like a car with a broken turn signal, it'd be best if I just stay in my own lane. For context, the fight that went on there was so one-sided that outside of heading up there to applaud my Jax and pat his ego, I'm not sure why my presence would have been needed, but sure enough he had to provide some commentary. I was dealing with issues at home, if you are picking up what I'm putting down, as I was stuck in the reality that this lane sucked record-breaking amounts of ass to deal with. Our jungler was getting diffed, which apparently is my problem, and so I got stuck in dipshit's limbo and half committed, even though technically, if we're calling a spade here, it was their support that rotated while ours was picking useless lint out of her belly button or whatever she had been doing all game. And their ADC tried to work from home for this particular meeting, but I figured I would interrupt that call and keep him busy instead. Two things then happened. As first, that bitch of a bamboo shoot rotated years before my Nami could, so I lost the 1v2 when I should have just ignored all of this and gone to lane, and second, my kindred now decided to speak down to me.
Like our Kate!
Jax then piled on.
You can't rely on them at all!
And then my kindred decided to ruin his own argument by saying I was both fighting both of their bot laners myself, while also not matching their bot laners' rotations into his jungle. Good logic, you fucking pizza roll eating asshat, I thought quietly to myself, but instead I decided to just demand that he put some respect on my name. Their responses to this were as follows.
Hell no! 050 bot lane. Do something to get respect.
And I'll be honest, I let the peer pressure get to me, so the next time a fight broke out elsewhere on the map, instead of sitting bot and getting gold like I know I'm supposed to, I made sure I was front and center and seen by all, which is when my Seraphine decided to pull this move. This was an important point in the story as it marked the moment where I had completed the trinity of bot lane flame, as my one remaining team member finally joined in by saying,
I'm not fighting while this Kate is on my screen.
If this is considered her way of fighting, I thought maybe I should stay on her screen at all times then, but instead I called her a bitch and moved on. I was then told I won't be able to be carried if I don't stop inting, and even though things would get worse before they got better, I could already envision what my late game was going to look like, because it always does.
You are now in the presence of a king.
That said, I guess I ate one too many white monsters before the game, because I knew fucking around in this situation would lead to a find out, but I still felt the need to antagonize this stupid Twitter simp in the dumbest way possible before it was time to get to work. I went top because Rift Alexa has been announcing that Silas has had less color on his screen than a 1970s TV all game, so I knew even though he had 2 levels on me, he'd still be dumber than the son of a stripper, and sure enough he comes flying out of the shrubs asking me if I've seen his brain cells, but some things just can't be found. I head back mid because I have one important matter of business to take care of, which is to let a Jin ult fly right past me and nuke that bitch on the stage who flamed me earlier. I now stand before all of you, and the flaming fuckwads on my team, a 1-4 ADC, to announce to them that I am Fettuccine Alfredo and that I soon will be popping off. This is because at this point I stopped caring about these guys like they were my brothers and decided I would only start rotating after my own chores were complete, as I figured I'm cool with missing the circle jerk, and once the jizzed on cracker has been eaten I will come in to right click twice on 2 chains and move him to the Rift recycling bin before intercepting that annoying ass vegan who fiber fucked me in lane and made my team think I was dog shit all game. I was still negative, but I gave these butt muffins another chance to put some respect on my name after having been such meanies to me all game, as I recall one of them said to do something to get respect. And so I said, how about when this wind shitter makes eye contact with me I rock so much juke you could shove quarters in my ass, and request I play a song, and then I finish the 1v1. Then it's time for me to get in a solo shuffle with the next player on their team to prove that my name deserves some respect, and I'm not entirely sure the summoner spells were needed given my ult was off cooldown, but I wanted to make it look like it wasn't even close when I demanded that the pink floating whore that earlier refused to play if I was on her screen put some goddamn respect on my name. All of a sudden she was buddy-buddy with me playing dumb songs talking about her Twitter followers, and I could give 2 shits, but when she made the plant who pissed on my parade during laning phase dance I threw a few pellets of weed killer in the rifle. At this point, considering we are all shit stuck in piss low, the game just turns into an ARAM until one person fucks up, and that person was 2 chains who may have escaped the shackles but will forever be a prisoner of his own IQ. Zyra then dies like a bitch in a ditch and we continue our chase. Yone, he whose head must be baloney if he thinks flying into this Macy's Day murder parade is a good idea, as all it does is send him back to his body just in time to be the recipient of the Caitlyn point and click you dead bitch award. At this point I went from being 0-4 with as many flaming haters as I had deaths to being 8-5 with the jizz of a dead baron covering my peacock skin Piltover uniform. So naturally when I see Jax in a worse position than an anorexic at an all-you-can-eat buffet, I run in there to make sure their jungle's name also describes his location, but then Jax is in a little too deep, so I let him have his moment alone. I'm giga fed now, so even when I'm just in the jungle going Gucci flip-flop fuck it hit your bitch in my socks, I can take down 1 and almost 2 in the process of deep-throating half their team's attention. Anyways, the game where my team was all flaming me, refusing to group with me, blaming me for rotating and then not rotating, saying things like 05 and 0 bot lane, dying and then claiming they will not play when I'm on their screen, got to witness the performance that took me from 0-4, to a 12-6 slamma-jamma, where after one more request for them to respect my name, they all came around and admitted they were wrong. All of them except for this useless sack of shit Seraphine. Subscribe for more showcasing how stupid and irritating the players you run into in solo queue are. Rav out.